Hey folks, Steve Wiest here. This is a little different view of Wiest World. We're looking the other direction. Usually I'm sitting there looking here, but now I'm sitting here looking there. Something like that. This is a bit of a sad day. Today we lost one of my friends, been a hero for the longest time, Walt Parazaider, the founding member, along with Danny Seraphine, of the group Chicago. And for many of us of my age, but for many, many, many people, Chicago is the soundtrack of our lives. It sure was for me. A thing that I should mention is that way back in the day, I came to the Chicago party a little late. For me, it was probably 76, 75, somewhere around there. I was aware of them much earlier than that, probably around 1972. But I really started listening to them in undergrad. And for me, those years were 1975 to 1980. I took some extra time, and I'm told I had a good time. It was the 70s, folks. Anyway, and Walt is the woodwind artist and started a group that they originally called The Big Thing. Don't ask me. I don't know what that was, but it was great music. And Danny and Walt recruited some pretty special musicians. The great Terry Kath, guitarist, legendary guitarist who left us way too soon. And Jimmy Pankow, my hero, the trombonist, man, just the cat, and the great writer and arranger. And who else did they get? They got Robert Lamm from New York, the great vocalist and writer, songwriter, extraordinary musician. Lee Loughnane, the trumpet player who is superhuman. He's still out there on the road with Nick Lane and Ray Herman. But Walt had to leave the road a while back. He had some heart problems and then later Alzheimer's. And after a long period of time, it finally got him, as happens to all of us. It's a season of life when you transition to the next realm. And that's where Walt is now. How's it going, Walt? I'm going to miss him. But we'll always have his music. What a beautiful, beautiful person. I put on social media today, larger than life, always loving life, and just full of life. That was Walt Parazaider, and that's how I'm going to remember him. And I had the privilege of meeting him a couple of times and getting to talk with him, get to know him a little bit. And then sadly, he had to leave the road as his journey ended. But the music continues. It always will. And I wanted to share with you just a little snippet. When I was making Concerto for Folded Space, Jimmy and I were going to record that. And later, Jason Sheff joined us, Keith Howland. It was Dreamsville. Unbelievable to make that recording. And so Daniel Pardo, who was the engineer initially and the great flute player, flautist deluxe on that project, came with me to Keith Howland's house, and we filmed Jimmy recording his parts, some of the solos that he did. And then we went backstage at a Chicago concert. Might have been in Nashville. It may have been. It was somewhere up in that area, I believe. And Jimmy was kind enough to let us film backstage, and in came Walt Parazaider. And I'm just so blessed that he did, and so glad that I got a little bit of him on camera. So here's Jimmy and myself and Daniel Pardo talking with the now late, but the great Walt Parazaider, our dear friend.
Walter.
How are you, Steve Wiest?
Yes.
Walter, of course.
Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm a wet dog today.
Well, listen, that's what it is today.
Yeah. This is Daniel Pardo.
Walter, nice to meet you.
Great flute players in the world, this guy.
Well, my goodness, I'm going to have to mind my P's and Q's tonight.
I was looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great trip.
It was actually great hearing you now.
Well, you know,
Almost
just
dropped the camera.
warming up, and it's I ice this thing because every once in a while, you know, if you're playing a lot of tenor or whatever, I feel like I've won 10 rounds with Muhammad Ali in his prime, you know, with the bottom lip, and
Right.
we all sort of ice and all that. So.
I was telling him about that, like where Color My World gets placed must be huge for you, because it's like such a beautiful thing. You pull it off so well every time, but how is that after coming off of all the craziness on the reeds and then bam?
Well, there's a little time there, not enough to get the lactic acids back.
Oh, right,
But
right.
it's further down in the set now. But there's a duet. There's a flute and trumpet duet before that.
Oh, right,
That's
sure.
a real bitch that you just pick up the flute, and it's either going to be there or it isn't.
Wow.
And that's the
I
way that I
admire
work.
these guys that, you know, go from one X to
Oh, I
another.
can't imagine. So.
Well, you know.
All right, folks, I'm going to leave you now with some music. This is from Chicago's third album, and for some of you that came to the party even later than myself in the early 80s when they were doing those great power ballads that I personally love dearly, especially the versions that they do live with Jimmy's great horn writing on those power ballads. Our man Dan Foster, Dan Foster is the trumpet player. David Foster, the great producer and composer, wrote some beautiful music for the band that featured Pete Cetera, and they dialed the horns back, but Jimmy snuck them right back on for the live versions, and they really shine. You need to hear "You Are the Inspiration" and things like that with the horn lines. Woof! That is Chicago, folks. That's the sound. And Walt was a huge part of that. And on Chicago 3, for the longest time, we gave him Roman numerals, and it always had the logo on it. Well, there it is right there, Chicago 3. There's a wonderful elegy suite, or that's what I call it, elegy. It starts with a wonderful poem, and then it goes into one of my favorite compositions, and Jimmy wrote the whole thing, called Canon. So you'll hear the brass playing this wonderful canon, this beautiful thing. And sometimes they'll play it live. You hear that, Nick? You got to play this now, Ray. Let's bust this thing out, man, because woof, I want to hear Ray play this. But the original is on Chicago 3, Canon, followed by Once Upon a Time, that features Walt Parazaider with his famous flute sound. He was a saxophonist, alto player, tenor sax, started as clarinet, his father being a trumpet player, and a symphonic player, and even taller than Walt. He was a huge man. But on this one, he's playing flute, and it's just one of the most beautiful, heart-wrenching pieces of music ever. So I thought it would be appropriate to put at the end of this. So this is from Chicago 3. It's the music from Elegy, and it's Chicago, featuring Walt Parazaider.